And we're back with another episode of Let's Play PC Building Simulator IT Expansion. I'm your host, the RPG Guy, and it's time for a brand new day. Found some more unfinished PCs in the back of my storage unit. Thought you might have a use for them. Ooh, nice. Hiram Young rumbled, but it's not all over. So, good news and bad news. Bad news, my boss came by to check on me before the presentation. Saw my kid doing all the work. Good news, he's not angry. I mean, he wasn't exactly happy, but he didn't fire me. That's a win, right? I explained what happened, and he said he had no idea I was so stressed out. I guess I should have just told him. He's extending my project by 3 months, and he made me promise to take some vacation so I could spend time with my daughter. Not bad, huh? It was a rough time, but it was good to have you on my side. I actually got you a little gift to say thanks for all the help. Aw. P.S. You made quite the impression on my daughter. She told me when I grow up she wants to be an IT technician. Oh, God. Tell her it's not worth it. It's all a lie. Okay. Make my PC the gold at the end of the rainbow. Unlimited power. New market strat need you. Okay. Before we do any of that, some stuff has come in. Ooh. Boundaries. Some artwork. You know what? Let's put it where we constantly walk around and look. How about up there? We do have a new location. I'm not doing it yet, but we'll do it soon. Some more coolers, okay. And then we've got some new PCs here. Let's take a look at them and see what's in them. We're not going to work on them too much. It could just put them in storage, actually. Let's just do that. Well, no, because I might want to take some stuff out and fiddle around, tweak it a little bit. Kind of get them prepped for what I want to do. Remember, my goal here is to get rid of the crummiest stuff imaginable. If I can. Ooh. This is a powerful Intel motherboard. We are taking this out right now. There's nothing else in here. It's just the motherboard. Okay, so this case is universal. We're going to take the fans out, I think, too. It's a nice case. You know what? We'll leave it alone. It's a nice case. Let's leave that off. All right, let's put that in storage as an empty case, because that's all that it is. Let's take a look at these. So we get these slightly smaller cases, which are a little more finicky for sure. RX 5400. That's a very nice power supply. That's coming out. This might be a good... Ooh, yeah. That's shit to work with. Power supply is definitely coming out. I don't know what to... Don't we have one of these? I want to say we have one of these in there. I could be wrong, though. Yeah, we do have one of these already in there. Gaming ITX AC. It's a Coffee Lake. I don't think we have any mother processors that are Coffee Lake. But I don't want this tiny motherboard in there, so let's... We can make this a middle tier computer, is what I'm thinking. Let's go to memory. We have the two Titan 4 gigs. Let's do that. Get these kind of out of here. I know it makes it an 8 gigger, but it'll be pretty slow. So that's how I view that. Power supplies. Let's put in this 300. So we're not putting in the best stuff, but we're not putting in good stuff. It's 500 gig hard drive. That way we're out of mechanicals at that point. The graphics card's gotta be a bit on the lighter side, and I'm thinking the winner here is gonna be this guy here. We're gonna test it. It's just the tiny motherboards. There's really no other way around a lot of this. Let's just do this to say that we did it. And then, yeah, I'm okay with what's in here. I know it's a wonky computer, but this will be 3 computers. Hopefully this power supply will run it. That's the gimmicky catch here, is will this power supply run it? And theoretically, we could take this fan out, and I think I will. after this is installed. And I will install our testing equipment. Again, we are not going to fine-tune this rig. The power supply is too weak. Yes, I could optimize and improve the performance of these, but with these lower tier computers, there's no reason to waste time. Oh, you made an extra $50. Not going to do it. It's not worth it. Let's remove this. Mine. Again, it'll also draw less power as far as I'm... Oh, there's one in the front. I want it too. Mine. Screw this piece of crap. Since we are gutting it pretty heavily here, I am okay with removing all of its core fans. It needs the one on the power supply. It doesn't probably need the rest. Well, that's going. Let's see what's over here. So we got a mechanical drive. Yeah, we got a mechanical drive. It's missing a... Oh, it's a nice i5 9600K. Let's take a look at this guy. EVGA Z370. I think that's a rather standard hard drive. This 1 terabyte maybe could come out. Let's see here. Z2 370 for the win. Z370 for the win. It's a $200 Coffee Lake. We're out of Coffee Lake processors. So what we could do... We are actually out of Coffee Lake processors. We have a few bucks, and I'm having an epiphany here. Not an epiphany, but I'm having a thought. Again, with our shitty computer concepts. We have a bunch of Skylakes. It'll be $300 to buy 3 Skylakes. We've got 1 case here ready to... 2 cases, though one of those cases is kind of nice. We do only have... We don't have any more... Well, we have one, but it's... No, we don't, actually. Skylake, and one really good Coffee Lake. So I either use the Coffee Lake or we start putting in things like the Celeron. The catch is, though, we kind of are low on video cards as well, so maybe we should wait still. I still think we're going to wait. Yeah, this guy's done. We're going to wait on that, but we'll leave it empty for the time being. Because, like I said, there's not much really to do. Some of you might say just sell what you have so you have the money, and I get that, but I'm doing this trying to min-max the amount of money I can get per the effort we're putting into these computers. So this guy is done. So we have 2 computers that can go. We have this one, 3 technically. This one, and this one here. And that way this guy will get at the bottom, along with this guy, which is really just 2 empty cases at this point. Take the fan. I will take all fans, because I said so. Because some of these only need 1 fan anyway, so why bother, right? All right, finally, after roughly 8 or so minutes of fiddling, let's get to work. Emily Weir, can you add lights to my PC? At least 2, because I keep mixing my PC up with other people's and they keep getting mad. Oh, rainbow colors, please. Maybe some bright cables would help too, like orange or something. Orange is good. Cabling. This bitch. Hey, so as you know, computers all look pretty much the same, and it's totally normal to get them mixed up. And like everyone has had that thing where you sit at the wrong desk for the whole entire day, and then come back the next morning and wonder where all your work went. Nah, it's not happened. And it turns out it's all on someone else's PC, and you have to go and ask them to email it back to you. And they give you this look like, and it's a whole thing, and you feel terrible, but also it's basically your own fault. Like what happened to all the time to basically, like that happens all the time to basically everyone, right? I guess lights and colors might seem a bit excessive, but at least I'll know for sure which PC is mine. Okay, 2 rainbow lights and some cables. All right, Emily, let's see if you have anything that can be lit up to begin with. Cannot tell. Probably not. Well, maybe. She might already have the lighting that needs to be done. But now she's getting on my bad side. And the bitch wants cables. Sorry, it's gonna happen. I'm angry. I hate cables. The cabling assignments. They are stupid. We are gonna go with braided. Plain orange. That's what I think. Yeah, so $200 just for that. And rainbow lights. Okay, so number one, we're not putting any new hardware in, I don't think. We're just changing lights and doing maintenance. That's all this computer really needs. So we can run all the maintenance and everything right now, which I want to do, and prep the lights. Then we got to recable the whole goddamn computer with orange. Now, technically, if you really know the motherboards and everything really, really well, you technically don't have to do that. I know, you can just do the ones that have color. But I'm not that lucky. All right, let's move on. So we got the cable in there. Ellie Crawley. Warren promised extended life and great power. To honor this, I must have an upgraded PSU for my computer. According to my latest research, the EVGA Supernova 550 G3 is the most magical of all power supplies. Sadly, the research itself is under strict NDA. Time grows short before the dawning of the day when all shall be judged, the day when the worthy shall be extended in life and the unworthy shall expire. Okay, so perhaps it wasn't as soon as I thought, but it is coming, and you would do well to be prepared. In fact, I've recently extended an olive branch to the heretics and the heathens that work here, the disciples of Warren, a new group dedicated to making preparations for the expiration. At present, I am the only member, but I am sure others will join once I tell them about the wonders and horrors to come. And you are more than welcome to be inducted too. I think you want to put a line through that. We'll be meeting every other Wednesday lunchtime in the cafeteria. Hope to see you there. Crow, please, Beetle Warren! Okay. He wants EVGA Supernova 550 G3. Okay. So let's put that on our list there. Supernova. So that's going to justify getting our power supply back. So that's really all we're doing with this one. Next one, Charles Matrick. He's new. Chaz Matrick. What's up, buddy? Need you to take a look at PC when you can, okay? It's not turning on, so some of the parts are probably Benizo. Whip them and get something else in, yeah? We're going to need at least 32 gigs of RAM. Besides that, nothing else major. It might be a good idea to check for viruses, yeah? We're kicking off the new social media push this week, all planned and greenlit by the brass. It's going to be big. Basically, we're going to do some promo work to raise Irritech's profile, get us some clout, yeah? Nothing scary, just a few giveaways, drive engagement, get those clicks, get the money, you get me? Now, I've heard you're the top dog around here for IT stuff, so obviously we would love to have you on board. Found a few PCs in storage to use as prizes, but they just need a bit of a glow up. Nothing you can't handle, mate. It'll be a cakewalk for you. Give me a shout if you have any questions. Solid. Okay, so that might be later. Upgraded 32 RAM with a diagnose and fix. So we don't know what's wrong with his computer. Let's put his roughly there. We'll get to that. This is the one with the power supply. So we know what has to be done here. Let's go ahead and run this. This, and this with a power supply. We're just going to do the maintenance now. Just to get it out of the way, because really we're just going to pop the power supply in, and we can run we'll run 3D Mark because it's a new power supply. But everything else has to get checked as per usual. And I screwed up. Great. Okay. Done. Now she wants rainbows. She already has the stuff in there for it, so I don't see why we need to buy her anything. Okay, but other than what she asked for, which was the cabling. B-linked. Fight back. And Clean It Pro. Let's take a look here. We're getting nothing here for power. Let's see. Let's start with the power supply, I say. If it's not the power supply, it's clearly the motherboard, and then we're in trouble. It is not the power supply. His motherboard be dead. Okay, so it's a Asus, I'm assuming. Yeah. Okay, so it's an Asus Z370 Pro Gaming. So this is a motherboard. Asus 370 Pro. Add to cart. But we're not going to commit to that yet. Let's take everything off, because that we need to take off the motherboard. So we know the power supply is fine. He wants us to upgrade to 30. Ooh, what was his memory? I just ripped out. He wants 32 gigs, so he's not going to get it with that. So he didn't specify what he wanted, so it'll end up being the cheapest 32 gigs. So shop, memory, 32 gigabytes, price ascending. Okay. Get one stick and throw it in there. Technically, if you're a good technician, you want to put in two, but we're going to do... Two is going to be more expensive than putting in one. See, these are 210. Is the cheapest versus, meaning we would be 420 versus 255. So yeah, boom. There's the memory he wants. Now let's confirm that it is the power supply. We're going to repair this dude's computer first, because everything we pulled out is going to be right at the back area. But we want to confirm that it's the motherboard and not some other oversight. Motherboard. Yes. Okay. Now, we do have this here, and it's slightly better, and would keep us from having to buy one, but we're going to buy one anyway. We're not in any hurry, or under any kind of specific constraints, rather. So we got the RAM, the motherboard, power supply, and the stupid cables. $800. Let's get her done. All right. Let's start with his, because his is going to be the wonkiest to do. As said before, motherboard. Even use that other video card is more useful. Our motherboard. Memory, 32 gigs as per his request. Processor. Shit, his processor's broken. Well, we're going to use this one that we have. Aha, see, there was other problems that he had that he didn't know he had. And luckily for us, that saves us from having to buy an expensive-ass processor. Give him this back. His graphics card is his. Everything else is in there. It was his, so boot her up and we'll see what happens. Still wants us to diagnose more, so that goes with our usual fare of the usual suspects, per se. So that, the virus scan. We'll run these three as well. This one's going to be wonky. Hopefully 420. Hopefully we don't hurt too much on our monies here. But let's see what happens. Let's see what comes of it. Ram, plop. Nothing special there. Let that do its thing. He needs his power supply redone. I pulled that off for some reason. Back to remove the... Okay, well, let's get back to this. Scan that. And if this is none... If this doesn't fix it further, then there's something else going on. Ah! Viruses. Removed. Good. 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 3D mark. This should be done. Other than running the 3D mark. Let's go ahead and remove... Power supply. What he wanted. Boot her up. Actually, before the boot her up, I'm gonna have to do that again later. And then we will go ahead and... I believe we ran everything else. We'll run that now. You know what? Cancel. I think I ran this all already, but whatever. Okay. And then run. Now you little bastard. I think we ran this all already. I'm gonna run it again. But she's the bitch that wanted the orange cabling. So we'll wait for that to finish and then we'll get to that. Pretty much unplugging every cable and then plugging it back in. Which there might be a slightly easier way to do some of it, but I'm going to just do it manually just to make sure. Remove. 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 Alright. So many cables. So the easiest way to figure out the cabling here, to figure out what's here and what's not, always remember there's something plugged in here to your air intakes and whatnot. Check the motherboard constantly, and then locate the power supply, because you're guaranteed to find even more cables there, hiding behind things like that. That could be enough to set you off, that's for sure. I don't see any more cables connected anywhere. So now we go to cabling. Or more likely install, yep. And we go to stupid orange. I've been plugging in the bullshit all the live long day. Because this bitch is driving me insane. Not a glass window on this thing. Boot the computer. Like, I want orange cabling and blue and light, and these rainbow colors. Dude, do you not realize that, like, there's nothing here? All right, so that's working. Ready to boot. Nothing missing from the case. That's done. These two Peckerwoods are done. Or at least should be done. And then we'll collect on these guys without breaking the bank. Do 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 do. And then we'll power that off. Before we do anything else, we'll ensure that everything they want is done from the ticket app, because we don't need the bullshit backstory stuff. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Home ticket. All right. The Supernova. He's good. His was relatively easy. Okay, so 32 gigs, checked for viruses and all that stuff. We did all that. So he's all squared away at $1,250 for that one. That's pretty. That's a given. Lights. So she's paying us for the cables. That's not a joke. All we're getting from her is the fucking cost of the cable, which is ridiculous. So we're gonna make no money on her computer because we had to buy the cables, as far as I'm concerned. Let's save game. Okay, and let us go ahead and collect. Oh wow, she's so pretty and definitely memorable. There's no way I'll forget which PC is mine now. I don't know how you can see it. Truly, this is the power worthy of Warren. So, I'll see you at the group then? No. Yes, mate. I'll get this on to the socials ASAP. Got a great idea for Riff Raff post. Just need to find a skateboard we can strap to the PC to. So, yeah, that's about the gist of it. Meh. Okay, so we can discard these. And for those of you wondering, let's make a save. Just in case. And let's change our workshop. We don't have access to that. So the expanded workshop. Let's go. We've earned it. We've worked for these losers long enough. Just make sure everything transferred over. That would be a shame if it didn't. It looks like everything transferred over. We've got our 3 computers getting worked on there. And yeah, look at this big old space. Don't know what it's for. Oh, clearly we can customize this room very nicely. Speaking of that, don't we have something? Oh, we already placed our old things. I don't even know where those would be. Peripherals. Decor? Ah, okay. So, I don't know where. We're gonna put this kind of where we can see it. There's so much here. No, I don't like that, but I've already placed it. Remove item. Wait a minute, what? Did it actually take my shit? No, it didn't. Okay. You know, let's just put it there. I just don't care. And then item. Let's put this painting somewhere where we can appreciate it. Don't want to put it that close to me. Okay. Alright, so new location. Silence. Alright. Let's make it a brand new day. I don't like that that is so low. Did they screw that up? They might have screwed that up. Alright, let's end the day. Again, not placing rigs. I want to kind of wait as long as we can. Alright. You know what? I do want to move that. I don't like that there now that I see how it's there. So, remove item. Now it's starting to show more. Oh, showing all the locations. I don't even know where I would put this. I guess we could just put it here and be done with it. This I will be done with. Let's put it down there. Okay. Oh, copier's broken. Let's just fix it while we see it. Didn't even matter who it was. Okay. Haru Sato, my PSU is broken. My power supply is completely dead. The bloody printer's broken too. Again, every time, I swear. Maybe you'll get time to fix it. I'll probably need it for work or whatever at some point. By the way, I personally don't care what you replace my PSU with, but my buddy is saying Corsair. Just go with that. Okay, well, look at that. GOD computers are such garbage. How do you even put up with dealing with them every day? All I did was take the PSU out and throw it across the room to get someone's attention, but apparently it was too much for it. What a piece of cheap junk. So he's giving us about $220. What's the stat on this? What has he got in there for PSU? A 450. Okay, and he wants Corsair. So let's look at shop. Corsair, the cheapest one is the 550. That's what he's going to get. Let's look at his computer too, make sure it's not a funny size or anything like that. No, not really. So this should be rather straightforward. Take that out. Okay, what's next on the list here? Ken Darling, forever plagued with fires. Another inferno has consumed my computer, this time destroying the RAM. I demand a larger case fan. A Pure Wings 2 140 millimeter comes to mind. Pure Wings 2 140. Pure Wings 2 140. There's 2 in my inventory, but we're going to get him one because we should have a budget for it. And he needs new memory anyway. Comes highly recommended. And as ever, my computer has been left in a veritable dustpan of ash. Required. Okay, 4 fires. This must surely be some kind of record. Yet again, I return to my desk to find it engulfed in a thin cloud of white smoke. I suppose this discounts my theory that the CPU is at fault, but that leaves us back to square one with regards to the source of the conflagrations. I am at a loss. Installing a larger case fan may help cool whatever component is really at fault, but I tire of having to flag this issue again and again. What do you want me to do, jackass? Okay, so it's a Dominator Platinum 4 gig 266. I believe that's the one. So far, so good. Hold on. Where is it? Platinum 4 D2666. Okay. Platinum 4 GB 2666. Okay, yeah. Put it on the same day just in case I screw that up further. All right. Let's check the ticket. Not the ticket, the other dude. Hetty Hertz. Are you any good at puzzles? Please, you gotta help me. There's a computer in the corporate therapist's office. I have to remote in so I can look for a very important file, but the connection keeps failing. Can you head over there and reset the network config, please? I'm 99% sure the files are scattered across the entire hard drive as well, so I'll probably need ByteBack installed to put it back together and a document reader to open it afterwards. It would be a big help if you could do that for me. Seriously, you have no idea. I know this probably sounds super illegal, so let me explain. I'm just an intern here, applied cryptology high. And my contract is nearly up. I don't want to leave, but if I can show the true value of my creative thinking skills, Eartech might offer me a permanent position. So I did what anyone else would do in my situation. I withdrew a cool mill from the company accounts, hid it somewhere in the building, and devised a multi-layered brain teaser that leads to the cache. Sounds amazing, right? Except I forgot the solution. I've been awake for 3 days straight trying to figure out the answer to my own dang puzzle. But this is the final clue. If you can help me get this file, everything will be fine, and then I can go to sleep. Yay, ha 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 ha, help me. Run B linked, and then he said he wanted 2 other things on there. ByteBack and a document reader. Okay, we can do that now. Just in case we get screwed and there's something else. Visit location. Okie dokie. It's one of these where we got to pull that off just to get the damn thing in there. Okay, we'll leave it off because of when, yeah. Let's run everything on this except 3D Mark because it's clearly riddled with crap. He wants we need to run B linked. He wants ByteBack. He wants a document reader. Right. B linked. I think he wants us to leave it on there, but we'll save before finishing. But we'll run it too, so we'll see what happens before we fuck with it. Just because it sounds like it's almost a puzzle in and of itself that he's dicking around with us with. Okay, and that's installing. Let's save. Okay, so we need to run kind of all of our little tools here to see what's really going down. B linked, ByteBack, Clean It Pro. And like I said, I think he wants byte back, so we're going to leave that there. Remove everything else. And I believe, again, he wanted a document reader. I'll double check in case it was writer. Document reader, yeah. So leave that alone. Grab our tool. Put that together. Okay, that should be what he wants. You have a printer that I need to check? Nope. It's a neat little office, though. Kind of like it. Kind of fancy. Does he know a guy named Tim? Alright, let's skedaddle. Return this bad boy right away because we've saved and all that stuff. So, collect. Okay, oh, thank God you did it. Really hope I can find that file now. I'm so tired. So that worked out. So that means everybody else is pretty good at the shop. So we'll get that delivered now. Let's do the power supply. This guy, I think, wanted the Corsair. Okay. We're up. Run the usual suspects when we get there. And then we'll check the other guy. Okay. Have you lost your mind, bro? Yes. Do 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 scoot up blah blue blah do 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 bop nope do 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 ba ra ba 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 all right. Oh boy, so he said his fan, one of the fans died. Which one? None. Okay, but we'll install that other fan that he wanted. The big honker. There you go, brother. And we got to replace E stick of RAM. That is probably burned out. Put that in its place. There is no life I know to compare to re-imaging hard drives, fixing PCs that ruin the nation. If you want to see heaps of crap, walk around my shop and see them. Randomly combusting PCs, pieces of metal that's only worth my pee. Come on, buds, fix these duds and make them play at 60 FPS. And maybe you'll be liked where you work. Alright, enough of that. Not as good as it sounded in my head. That's for sure. And then coming up with it on the spot. Usually I'm pretty good at that too. That was pretty lame, I must admit. All right, let's see here. Let's remove everything except Document. And this guy will be good to go. So far, so good. You know, we haven't had anything too crazy other than the freaking cable lady that I want to whip. I want to whip her. I should, you know, here's the thing. If I was an actual IT guy and maybe best friends with the CEO and was given free reign, if you want fancy looking cables in your PC at work, guess what? I'm going to whip you with them for 10 minutes before I install them. And don't worry, I'll make sure I use ones that I don't plan on putting in. I'm just going to use ones that you're not going to need. Trust me, they give me more cable than necessary. All right, this guy should be done. Yoink. Oh, the Yukon. All right, may as well just save while that's still going. We can turn this in. Make sure we get max cred for this. Better thanks. I don't get why they don't warn you about how fragile PSUs are, because that was his attempt to go plural. Ugh. All right. This guy be done. We're doing really good. We're making lots and lots of progress here, even without having to sell a single one of the the PCs that we've been sitting on. So that's kind of nice. And as stated before, we're getting to a point where I think when I order any new mystery parts from Numbnuts, when we order new parts from him, I think what I'm going to end up doing, what I'm going to end up find myself doing is I'll probably order those 3 motherboards if we don't get them that next time, is what I'm assuming here. Let's save. Let's turn this sucker in. Yeah, I can commend your commitment, although I can't help but feel it's only a matter of time before another blaze. So we get a little bit of cash. Nothing much. It was very kind of piss poor day money-wise. We made crap. But that's okay, because we've got still some more work to do, more to come. I guarantee it. We can't go... Can we go in here? Spare PCs. Oh, this is where we put the spare PCs for the money. Duh. Because there's not much we can do in there. Okay. So much done. Still so much left to go. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I'm your host, the RPG Guy. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JackdarStudios for more live gaming action. Because when we come up, holy crap, we've got 4 tickets. Okay, and the final clue, whatever that hell that is. So we'll have to look into all of that coming up next time. So thanks for stopping by, guys, and we'll see you guys next time.